mobile computing basics, in which we have seen lots of communication parameter which are really important to understand uh, the basics of the next generation network parameters. So in today's session, I am going to discuss what are the different or the first structure in the next generation system, or what are the existing system which can be incorporated inside the next generation system. Okay. For this purpose, I have selected GSM, or the global system for the mobile communication, because the infrastructure is most of the time same. Okay. This infrastructure, existing infrastructure will be converted, will take the advantage of the next generation networks. So in this regard, I am sharing my screen and my PPT. Okay. So this screen is visible to you. Okay, I think it is visible. And now, in today's lecture, we will try to explore the global system for mobile communication, and how this GSM component will integrate into the next generation components. Okay, this is very important thing, because existing most of the voice communication are the 2.5G or even 3G. So still we have to concentrate on the existing system, so that way if we are deploying the next generation system along with it, then it can provide synchronization with the existing system. Okay, so that's why the existing system component knowledge is also necessary, because again here most of the component are same in the next generation system also, but with having some other kind of additional capabilities. Okay, these are there inside the next generation or beyond 4G networks. So in today's topic and today's lecture, we will try to cover the overview of GSM, different teleservices and the supplementary services inside, which is available inside the GSM, and the subsystems, how the systems are and their component are integrated or connected to provide the ultimate level of the services to the mobile user. Okay, so in today's lecture, we will try to discuss these things. Okay, so first of all, just talk about the GSM. So GSM work with different bands, and it varies from country to country. In case of India, most of the GSM band are the GSM 1800 and GSM 900 band. Okay, and two more parameters are there always in case of any generation, that is the uplink and the downlink. Whatever the data you are forwarding, your mobile is forwarding to the service provider or the nearby MSC, it is known as the uplink. Okay, and whatever content you are downloading or you are fetching from the remote terminal or the GMSC or the MSC, it is known as the uh, uplink, sorry, downlink. So in other manner, we can understand tower to mobile is downlink, and from mobile to the tower is uplink. Okay, so it is divided into 819 to 915 in case of uplink, and in case of downlink, it is 935 to 960 megahertz band. Okay, so this is the typical band. Again, if we are selecting only this 25 megahertz band for this purpose, then you can see that in this 25 megahertz, some specific range of the bandwidth is assigned to the service provider. In this range, it has to accommodate whole state. Okay, not a single mobile or not a single tower we are talking about. Just like if we consider the example of Rajasthan region, then whole spectrum, whole 25 megahertz spectrum band is not assigned to the single service of provider. Okay, some specific band is assigned from within this range to any specific service provider. Then this service provider has limitation to accommodate large number of users. Okay, so this is the biggest challenge we can say in case of the spectrum distribution and spectrum allocation. How effectively the service provider is managing its spectrum to divide to different user and for different purposes, because most of the time data, voice, and other services has its own specific band. Okay, it is totally separated from the voice channel and the data channels. So similarly, we have GSM 1800 band and GSM 1900 band, in which we have uplink and respective downlink frequencies. Okay, these are required. Now, GSM in the world, here you can see the slide of 2005, and here almost 3% of users from around the globe from India. Okay, so this is the one of the study, but nowadays the figures are totally changed because most of the mobile user uh, generally from China, India, and Korea. Okay, so most of the time, because we are more populated than any other country, that's why the number of mobile phone users are also very large in our country, because each and every user, even they are using more than one SIM card or number, or they are managing able to manage more than one phone to simultaneously. Okay, in case of India, here we have various service providers of India, just like Reliance, Spice. Now I'm not talking about Reliance Jio. Okay, Reliance Communication, I think आपको पता होगा, which is already turned off. So Reliance, Spice, MTNL, Bharti, BSNL, Hutch, Idea, BPL. Now, if you will compare the scenario diagram from 2005 to now, it is totally changed, because nowadays most of the users are using 4G or 3G. So this is typically, if you are considering GSM at 2005. In this situation, I think you can see that the number of subscriber of BSNL are really large, but nowadays the subscriber of Jio or Reliance are really high than any kind of service provider. Okay, so this was happened due to the technology adoption by other companies, just like Jio has started 4G, and now he is trying to start 5G. At that time, Bharti and BSNL, they didn't start new technology. That's why they lack the technology, and due to very complex competitive environment, they didn't start, or they didn't prefer the next technology, and that's why they lost the market even. So in this way, we can understand. Okay, so what is actually GSM? So we earlier, or formally, the GSM was known as the Group Spatial Mobile in 1982. Okay, because it's found in France. That's why the name is somehow written in the German language. And nowadays it is available as Global System for Mobile Communication, or the GSM. Okay, so there are lots of intermediate standard, and the amendment are also there, which has standardized the GSM on the basis of European Telecommunication Standard, because the GSM was started in Europe and they are nearby countries, and they have developed the structure. So 1991 and 1994 and 1996, you know, they have modified the variant of GSM. So we can consider GSM as 2.5. Okay, so there are lots of performance characteristics of GSM, just like communication, total mobility, worldwide connectivity, high speed, high transmission quality, security. Because this was the first globally accepted standard, which is very popular. Okay, nowadays it is not popular, but at that time it was very popular due to these characteristics. Because it is really easy to set up, we can call to anyone anytime. Okay, and it was the first revolution in the communication, we can say, in the mobile communication, which has changed a lot. Okay, that's why the GSM always considered the first basic structure of any of the generation. Okay, afterward the generations are, we can say, in rapidly grown or exponentially grown in each and every component. Now, what are the disadvantages of GSM? Because GSM are nowadays is not popular. Why it is not popular? What are the flaws inside the GSM? So GSM won't provide the ultimate level of security, which is also known as the end-to-end encryption of user and data. Okay, and the second is no full ISDN bandwidth of 64 kbps to the user. So no transparent V channel. Okay, transparent, it means we are talking about the error control and the flow control in the second layer and the fourth layer. Okay, abuse of the private data, roaming profile. Okay, high complexity of the data, because high complexity of the system, because there are lots of components and still the complexity are scattered because GSM was trying to change their configuration, which is actually not right. That's why the sum of the component are critically connected to the system, okay, which generate lots of call drop. That's why the GSM has like the performance also. Several incompatibility within the GSM standard because GSM is also vary from even state to state. So that's why the roaming will come into the picture. Whenever you are traveling from other state, you have to your service provider will impose some kind of roaming charges to you. Okay, in 2005 or 2007 or 2010, the roaming charges were there. Each and every time if you are visiting any other state, the service provider will also charge. In this situation, how you will manage this kind of situation? Because additionally you have to track record of the moment of the user if user is not situated inside particular premises or particular state. Okay, in this situation it is really important to handle the user movement. Okay, so what is actually GSM? What kind of services it offers? So GSM offers several type of connection, just like voice connection, data connection, and SMS was the biggest invention in the uh, mobile communication. We can say so. The short messages or the SMS are invented in the 2.5G, and at that time it was very successful and popular. Okay, it was adopted by most of the service provider. So SMS nowadays SMS are not very popular because due to the invention of 4G and 5G, most of the people are directly using their social media to connect anyone because they are able not only to send text message, they are able to communicate via their pictures, multimedia messages, even document files. Okay, so multimedia service option, the combination of these kind of services it also offers. So we can also divide three service domain of GSM, that is the bearer services, telematic services, and the supplementary services. Okay, so most of the time bearer service related to the physical medium, telematic services related to your voice, SMS, and fax. Supplementary services which are actually we can say not exactly the voice and the telephony services, just like call forwarding, the redirection, or any specific call bearer services. Okay, in the bottom, I think you can see you can see the diagram. Here there are lots of components. That is PE stand for the terminal equipment, MT is the mobile terminal, and MS is the mobile station. So basically, the MS is your mobile phone. Okay, and terminal equipment and the mobile terminal is connected via R and S interface, where your mobile phone is directly connected to the GSM system or GSM PLN system. Via UM or the user link and other PSTN. It means public switch telephone network, and the ISDN is also used to carry your large amount of data from fiber optics or existing telephone lines, and ultimately it will reach to the other destination. Okay, so here it's a simple example of the GSM, but if you are interested to see the diagram, then we will see later on. Okay, so what exactly is the bearer services? So bearer services is telecommunication services to transfer data between access point or the access point is nothing but here we are talking about the exactly tower or base transmission station and basic switching center. Okay, so R and S interfaces are used, interface that provide the network independent data transmission from and end device to the mobile terminal point. Okay, so here we are talking about the interface from the tower to the mobile phone. And U interface is required with multiplexing technique, just like provide interface to the network with TDMS or FDMA kind of system. Okay, and we have transparent and the non-transparent kind of services of OSI layer of 1 to 3rd. Transparent is no error control of flow control, only error correcting codes, and non-transferable if we are using error control in the flow control. Okay, so what exactly the voice services, data services with respect to the circuit switch and the packet switch? I think circuit switch and packet switch are the terminology. I think you are aware with the computer network. But for a time being, I'm just considering the synchronous kind of service. So in the voice services, it has capacity of 2.4, 4.8, or the 9.6 kbps channel. And in case of the data service or circuit switch or packet switch, it has, in case of the synchronous service, it has same, but in case of the asynchronous services, it has some different kind of data rate. Okay, so first of all, we can divide teleservices into two parts: teleservices 1 and teleservices 2. So what is teleservices 1? So telecommunication services that enable voice communication via mobile phone. So here exactly we are talking about the voice communication. Okay, all these basic services have to obey cellular function and security measures. So we will also see what are the different example in this. So the offers teleservices one, we have mobile telephony, exactly the telecommunication we are talking about or the voice communication we are talking about. So we have primary goal of GSM was to enable mobile telephony offering the traditional bandwidth of the 3.1 kilohertz. Okay, so that is the traditional bandwidth of this GSM telephony. Now, emergency number. I think you are aware with this situation or the aware with this number. GSM also provide you, or most of the operator nowadays in even next generation technologies, if you are talking about 4G and 5G, even your phone is locked, you are able to type the number 112. Just you can check from your phone even. If your phone is locked, even it is not free, still you are able to call 112. Okay, you can try from your mobile also, because most of the phone can directly unlock their phone by typing this number 112. Okay, why it is so? Okay, why it is so in case of the GSM? Because this was the emergency number which is assigned to the European country. Just like 100 or 108 is the emergency number in India. But nowadays the homeland security infrastructure is not available in India. That's why this calling number are not directly applicable. But most of the time, new homeland security infrastructure is ready and in the preliminary state. Now, Home Ministry has guided, our government of India has guided to the Ministry of Science and Technology that please incorporate the emergency number inside the telephone. And specifically, they are also trying to design the panic button to cover the um, more security to the woman and the girls. Okay, so panic button in future will be available to all the phone, even in vehicles. They are also including the panic button inside the vehicle so that they can inform to the nearby law and enforcement agency to deploy the police or any kind of emergency people at that time. Okay, so this is very useful number. But at the time of start of GSM, even the European countries has adopted this 112 number. But still, due to the lack of the homeland security policies, still India, our country, is not able to execute this number uh, inside the telecommunication system. But nowadays they are trying. हो सकता है आपके मोबाइल में भी ये नंबर वर्क कर रहा हो. Okay, so this 112 is free of charge connection with highest priority because we are calling to the emergency number. So most of the bandwidth are dedicated bandwidth. If you are calling to this number, then your call will directly connect it to the law and enforcement agency operator. Okay, multi-numbering by the several ISDN phone integrated circuit design network phone numbers as per the user possible, because most of the time this the user want all the services from one number, so we have to integrate all the services together to provide more number of services to the single user. Now teleservices too. Okay, so some additional services which are the non-voice services. So non-voice services में क्या आता है? That is the group 3 fax. This is the facility which is available on. Also, these facilities are also vary from country to country. So group 3 fax facility, voice mailbox facility. देखा होगा most of the time voice mailbox can also be open if particular mobile user is not connected at that time. So you can also set your mailbox. So this facility was started by GSM. Electronic mail facility through MHS and mail handling system, okay, implemented in the fixed network. This was also started by GSM, but again, I think in India it was not implemented at that time. And SMS was implemented through all by all the country with support 160 character of a single message. Okay, now supplementary services. Supplementary services which are which is not voice, not data, or even not non-voice kind of services. So we have various supplementary services. Okay, again these supplementary services are vary from country to country and service operator to the service operator. Okay, so these are the some kind of services which are, we can say, which are the supplementary services, just like forwarding of caller number. Okay, the caller identification number is also one kind of supplementary services, but nowadays it's mandatory. Okay, because due to the TRI guideline, if phone number is not available, or if some callee is calling to you, and if phone number is not appear at the time of picking the call, you can report this incident to the TRI. Okay, because this is not acceptable as per the security guideline from the TRI. Even from any of the generation, even you are using internet telephony, in this situation also the number should be appear or the identity should be appear, then only uh, the call is permissible. Okay, otherwise it is not permissible. Okay, separation from the number forwarding, automatic callback, call conferencing. Okay, locking the phone terminal, just like PIN number or PUK number, phone unlock code number, call bearer service, so that you can't call to anyone, or if specific call number can be blocked. Okay, these are services are the part of the GSM. Okay, so it was implemented during the GSM. Still, these services are popular. Now, architecture of the GSM. So we can consider GSM as a public land mobile network. Why we are telling it public land mobile network? Because uh, we are integrating both the network together, mobile as well as via fixed LAN, okay, or fixed wire, because GSM is ultimately connected to the public telephone network. And in case of the next generation network, even the next generation network will also deploy with the help of the wire network, because wireless won't give you higher bandwidth. Higher bandwidth can be achieved through the dedicated fiber optic or dedicated fixed wire. Okay, this is very, very necessary to communicate with high reliability and high capacity. That's why we have to take support of the fixed wired. Although we are repeating mobile and the wireless, but still the existing wired line or fiber optics are also needed, or as a carrier it is needed to carry large number of user data from one point to the another point. Okay. So what are the component we have already seen, that is MS, that is stand for the mobile station, BS, that is the base station, and MSC. MSC is the mobile switching center, which is basically whole sole coordinator of the GSM system. In every generation, we will see this kind of coordinator. Okay, sometimes the name is different, sometimes the responsibilities are different, but most of the time the functions and the structure and the design is similar in every generation. Even if you are talking about the 3G generation, 4G, or even 5G generation, the component are always same. Just like they always require tower or the antenna, just like any kind of base station, and mobile phone always required, mobile switching center always required. To register the user, the location register is always required. Okay, now various subsystems are also there, because GSM can be divided into various subsystems. So GSM subsystems are RSS, which is stand for the radio subsystem, and to cover all radio aspects or the communication operation. NSS stands for the network and the switching subsystem, which is required for call forwarding, handover, and the switching. Okay, we will see what is handover, but for time being, handover is a situation when you are moving from one tower to the another tower, or one city from the another city, or even from one state to the another state, then definitely you won't able to take services from the single mobile tower. In this situation, you have to change your tower, you have to change your service provider. In this situation, the handover situation is really, really important. Now the last supplement service is the OSS, that is stand for the operational subsequent mm, operational subsystem which is required for management of the network. Okay, so we will see each and every component one by one, and here it is the architecture of GSM. Now here you can see that we have RSS, NSS, and the OSS. Okay, if we are talking about the mobile user is nearby the tower or nearby the BSC. Here some kind of hexagonal shapes are there. These hexagonal shapes are known as the cell. Okay, this is a cell in which the user are reside. Okay, जो मोबाइल फोन यूजर से वो कहाँ होंगे, जो हेक्सागोनल सेल बनी है उसमें से. So each and every city is divided into this hexagonal shapes kind of structure. Okay, this is necessary because we have to divide whole geographical region into the small part, and in this situation our geographical region is divided into this kind of cell structure due to the better design. Okay, we can use different shapes also, just like triangle, hexagon, or any circle. But due to efficient design of the mobile communication, we prefer this hexagon shapes only. Due to the better coverage and due to the non-overlapping condition and due to the black holes in kind of design, we can say we always select this hexagonal shapes. Okay, so this BSC is basic switching center. Base switching center control the BTS. जो टावर्स आपको दिख रहे हैं इनको कंट्रोल करने के लिए वी हैव वन एंटिटी विच इज नोन एज द BSC. Okay, these several BSCs are controlled by one MSC. Okay, mobile switching center. Mobile switching center generally in each and every state it is only one, and this one MSC will manage all the operation inside one state. If you are talking about India, then each and every state has its own MSC. Just like Rajasthan की आप MSC consider करोगे तो it is situated in Jaipur. Okay, only one MSC is there. And if you are considering BSC generally you can consider any city. Just like कोई district आप consider कर लो. So each and every district has its BSC, and this district BSC will control by the centralized MSC. Okay, and MSC has various registers which is known as the VLR, HLR. VLR and HLR stand for the visitor location register. HLR stand for the home location register. Okay, HLR basically most of the subscriber or the user जितने भी लोग हैं टू टेक सर्विसेज फ्रॉम एनी सर्विस प्रोवाइडर. जैसे आपको जियो से भी सर्विस लेनी है या BSNL से लेनी है, तो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली यू विल डू इन द फर्स्ट स्टेप. द फर्स्ट स्टेप इज टू टेक द सिम कार्ड. ओके, पहली स्टेप क्या है, जस्ट टेक और परचेज ए सिम कार्ड फ्रॉम एनी स्पेसिफिक शॉप और एनी अथोराइज्ड डीलर, है ना. Then you will insert your SIM card inside the mobile phone and you will try to register and identify with particular MSC. Now after identification, your MSC will register you inside the home location register. Okay, so you got the idea how HLR works, because HLR work along with the MSC to register you, to identify you. So all data record, sorry, all record or all identification record will always be available inside the home location register. So any MSC can manage more than one HLR. ऐसा नहीं कि एक ही HLR एक ही database होगा. There are more than one database can also be possible, okay, to accommodate large number of users. So this structure VLR and HLR are still available in case of 3G, 4G, and 5G kind of network, because due to the IP kind of network, IPv6 and IP, due to the IP networking or IP routing, these two registers are still there in case of next generation kind of networks. Okay, and these traditional MSCs are also connected to the public switch telephone network or the PSTN network. Here, orange ellipse is also there, that is the fixed network. Okay, the fixed network, it means we are talking about the existing wired structure of other telephones, just like BSNL or any other provider. Okay, so we have OSS systems also, that is the OMC, Operational and Maintenance Center, Equipment Identity Register, EIR, and the AUC Authentication Registers. Okay, so we will see each component one by one because these components are required in the next generation infrastructure also. Because we can't imagine a next generation network by avoiding this small component. So what exactly the situation is? So just assume the situation you are connected to the nearby tower. Just like आप जहाँ पर भी अभी बैठे हुए हो या जहाँ पर भी आप अभी एक प्रेजेंट में जिस रूम में भी अवेलेबल हो, यू आर यूजिंग योर मोबाइल फोन एंड यू आर डेफिनेटली कनेक्टेड टू द नियर बाय टावर और द बीटीएस. ठीक है, फ्रॉम दिस बीटीएस यू आर टेकिंग द सर्विसेज ऑफ इंटरनेट और द वॉइस. जहाँ कहीं भी आप बैठे हो वहाँ पे आपका मोबाइल फोन है एंड योर मोबाइल फोन इज कनेक्टेड टू नियर बाय टावर एंड फ्रॉम विच यू आर फेचिंग सम काइंड ऑफ सिग्नल. आपको जो सिग्नल दिखाई दे रहा होगा आपके मोबाइल पर, definitely you are taking some signal from the nearby available tower. Okay, so this is the situation. Just concentrate on the green hexagon. Here you can see that one mobile station is there. You are connected to the nearby BTS by use of UM interface. Okay, this UM or user interface, you are connecting to the nearby tower. Okay, and whole system, base subsystem or basic subsystem is a dotted circle. Dotted circle दिख रहा होगा, which consists of two green hexagon cells. Okay, and these two towers, these two BTS towers, these two BTS tower, BTS1 and BTS2, these two BTS tower are controlled by this BSC. Okay, so this basic switching center is capable enough to control the BTS. Okay, these several BSCs are controlled by one MSC. So here you can see that the connection. So this mobile switching center is capable to control various MSCs. Just like consider the example of Rajasthan region. So this MSC is Jaipur MSC. Okay, which has mechanism or which has capacity to control whole state. Okay, all the state. So this is the BSC of Ajmer, this is a BSC of Jodhpur, and so on. So these are the district level BSCs which are controlled by the MSC. You can understand from this thing, not exactly same, but somehow you can take the example of it. So several BSCs, and these BSCs to BTS connection is generally we can made with the help of ABIS connection, and BSC to MSC interface is A interface, and the MSC has lots of database just like HLR, VLR, and the AUC, EIR, and the OMC. Okay, so these are the some kind of component we can say of the particular MSC. So we will also try to explore each and every component one by one because these components are also part of the next generation technologies. Now, okay, so you can also understand this from this diagram how we are distributing our system. So one MSC is controlling several BSCs here. Here you can see that several BSCs are controlled by single MSC, and one BSC can control multiple BTS or towers. Okay, so multiple towers can control by one BSC, and several BSC can be controlled by one MSC. And MSC has various components just like EIR, AUC, HLR, VLR. These are the database, and your mobile phone always take the connection from the nearby BTS or nearby tower. Okay, the tower here we always refer base transceiver station. Okay, so ये चीज ध्यान रखना कि what is the full form of the BTS. So we always refer tower. Tower is nothing but base transceiver. Transmission plus receiver is known as the transceiver. Okay, so BTS stand for the tower, which with the help of it we can connect to the nearby tower. Okay, so again back to the component, radio subsystem, network switching subsystem, and the fixed partner or the wired network kind of thing. So here you can divide it into from this diagram. In the radio subsystem, here you can see the component. In the network subsystem, you can see the component by using SSS or signaling subsystem 7 kind of a scheme is used to connect GSM system to the existing telephone network system. Okay, existing telephone network is the wired one, and the MSC is the wireless kind of system. So the signaling scheme is totally different. That's why we required SSS7 kind of a scheme to connect our mobile system to the fixed line system. This is necessary. We will also see why it is necessary. Now, what are the components inside the radio subsystem? So we have component mobile station, base station subsystem, which consists of BTS or the tower, okay, and the BSC, which control various tower. And interface, we have UM and radio interface, ABIS interface, which is standardized open interface with 16 kbps per channel speed. And we have A interface, which is again open interface with 64 kbps user channels. Okay, because the capacity is also required, which also limit the number of user which can be connected at the same time. Okay, that's why if we are using GSM kind of network and we are calling to someone, and due to availability of this user channel, you can get the message that the line is busy and the network is busy, particular subscriber is busy, okay, or the channels are not free. This kind of messages or automated messages will be forwarded by the operator to your mobile phone. Okay, in the second case, in the network subsystem, we have mobile switching center. Okay, now we have IWF, which is necessary for inter-networking function to connect various intercomponents. ISDN stands for the Integrated Service Digital Network, which is necessary, okay, to integrate all the service together. Now PSTN, Public Switch Telephone Network, and this is necessary for to connect our GSM system to the existing telephone network system. We have packet switched and the circuit switched public data network, which is stand for the PSPDN and CSPDN. And we have various databases inside the network subsystem, that is the HLR, VLR, and EIR, which stand for the home location register, visitor location register, and the EIR, which stand for the equipment identity register. Now, equipment identity register, and we will see these are the component. So, first component or the first subsystem we are talking about, that is the radio subsystem, okay, which comprises the cellular mobile network up to the switching centers, and the components are the BTS, BSC. I think we have already discussed the BTS and BSC. Whole, if we are combining these two things together, then it is known as the basic subsystem or the BSS. So the combination and along with the interconnection is known as the BSS. And mobile station or mobile phone is also component of the BSS subsystems. Okay, so again back to the hexagonal shapes. So here we can see that a whole region is divided into the small hexagons, and we are connecting this hexagon in this manner, just like uh, just like a we can see honeybee kind of structure here. Now use of several carrier frequencies. Okay, so one more thing is also there. If we are deploying towers in each and every hexagon, then we have to monitor about the frequencies also. One frequency, if we are allocating to the tower 1, then definitely other set of frequency we will allocate to tower number 2, and similarly we will allocate other frequency to tower number 3, and so on. Okay, so why we are using different frequency to each and every hexagon? Because why we are giving this separation? Because we have reason. If we are using same frequencies to nearby or adjacent cells, then in this situation it will create the interference to the communication, and ultimately they lost the packet, they lost the communication. So to avoid this kind of situation, to the adjacent cell we always use different frequencies. Okay, now we can also repeat the same frequency again Okay, just like the blue circle, here we have blue circle, two blue circle you can see in the diagram. Now these two blue circle are using different frequencies, and sorry, same frequencies. These two blue circle are using the same frequencies in the particular cell or particular hexagon. Why we are using same frequencies in these two cells? Because this thing is known as the frequency reuse. Now, what is frequency reuse? Just reuse the same frequency pattern in the other hexagon cell in the existing cellular infrastructure. This is known as the frequency reuse. So we can reuse because the distance between these two cells are really high or large. In this situation, we can use it because uh, they are too much far, and the interference associated with these cells can be minimized because they are not adjacent or neighboring cells. If they are not neighboring cell, then we can avoid this situation. Okay, so we can see that here the frequency distribution is really critical in the GSM cells, because we can reuse the cell but after somehow some bigger distance. Okay, so we can't even use, or we can't frequently use this kind of reusing cell inside our network. Again, it will also create the interference. So this interference, we can also use, divide our interference into two parts, that is adjacent channel interface and the neighboring channel interference, or the frequency reuse kind of interference. Now these are the functionality of BTS or the tower and the BSC. Okay, there are lots of functions in which we can see that the management of the radio channel is managed by the BSC. Frequency hopping is managed by both the entities. Management of the terrestrial channel is managed by BSC. Mapping of the onto radio terrestrial channel into radio is managed by BSC. Rate adoption is managed by tower. Encryption and decryption. Okay, this is performed by both the thing. Paging is performed by both the thing, and so on. Yes, handover. Handover is the important context when you are moving from one tower to the another tower. Okay, within the same BSC, then it will be managed by the BSC. Now talk about the mobile station, because आपका mobile phone रहता है. Mobile phone is not the simple mobile, it has lots of things. Okay, from the single mobile phone you can't connect to any network. Okay, what exactly the thing required? The SIM card. Okay, the SIM card will give you identity, or the subscriber module, we can say, will be provided by by the service provider, and you will insert inside your mobile phone. The particular circuit will be short, so your network module will be activated. After activation of your network module, you will try to register yourself to the nearby tower. Okay. Now, nearby tower are having different service provider, but due to this uh, subscription of specific SIM, you will register from your specific service provider. Okay, just like आपने जियो का सिम लिया है, तो you won't get registration from Airtel or any BSNL. Okay, in case of India. Okay, so आपने अगर जियो का सिम लिया है तो आपका रजिस्ट्रेशन कहाँ मिलेगा? जियो पर ही मिलेगा, ना कि किसी और सर्विस प्रोवाइडर पर. Okay, so it has also lots of things, just like SIM module is there, just like terminal equipment is there, some network module are there. Okay, so and some kind of communication mechanism facility, just like microphone and speaker are also available inside the phone. Okay, so these things are the part inside the mobile station, that is empty mobile terminal, terminal adapter, terminal equipment, and most important thing, the SIM. Okay, so these things are the part of the mobile station. Collectively, we can also tell, or we can also combine this four thing together as the mobile phone. तो मोबाइल फोन के अंदर ये सारी चीजें एक साथ होती है. ठीक है, मोबाइल टर्मिनल, मोबाइल एडॉप्टर, मोबाइल इक्विपमेंट एंड द सिम. Collectively, this is known as the mobile phone. Okay. Now, network and switching subsystem. So, NSS is the main component of the public mobile network of the GSM, which is responsible for switching, mobility, and the interconnection of the other network. And the components are the MSC. Now, MSC has started. So MSC is very important component, or the central or the hard component of the GSM system, which is required to coordinate all kind of operation. Okay, and similar from the next generation technology, this MSC will also be there. So to understand the operation of the futuristic network, we have to understand the operation of MSC here, because here MSC in case of GSM system perform very critical operations. So it can manage three registers basically: EIR register or home location register, visitor location register. So the home location register is the database of all the user which are residing inside particular territory and which has SIM card. Okay, so this is the central database containing user data, permanent and the semi-permanent data of all subscriber assigned to the HLR. जैसे ही आप लोग सिम परचेज कर लेते हो तो यू विल रजिस्टर यूर सेल्फ इनसाइड द HLR. Okay, and visitor location register is also required. Just assume the situation that if you are moving from Jaipur to Delhi. Okay, जयपुर से आप अगर दिल्ली जा रहे हैं तो definitely your Jaipur MSC won't able to provide you services, because each and every MSC has its specific region. है ना, टेरिटरी बाउंड्री होती है, हर किसी का एक स्पेसिफिक बाउंड्री होती है. जनरली एमएससी की बाउंड्री उसकी स्टेट तक होती है. जस्ट लाइक इन केस ऑफ राजस्थान, इट्स टेरिटरी वॉन्ट बियॉन्ड फ्रॉम द राजस्थान बाउंड्रीज. अब राजस्थान से बाहर आप अगर जाओगे तो डेफिनेटली योर मोबाइल फोन will take services from other MSCs. Now, in case of this situation, if you are moving to Delhi, then Delhi MSC will register you inside the visitor location register. Okay? Because you are the visiting or the roaming user who is away from your home state. आपकी home state कौन सी है? राजस्थान है. Because your home location register has registered you. But for a time being, you are the roaming user. So specifically, they have to handle this situation. So they have to put your entry inside the visitor location register, because for a timing you will be there and you will be back to the particular state. Although you are not going back to your state, still your data record will be maintained inside the home location register. Okay, this is very important component inside the next generation networks also, because here also IP telephoning and IP based telephoning is also there. IPv6 telephoning scheme will come. In this situation, when IPv6 will come, here you can also see that most of the time, if you are away from the network or the home state, your VLR will provide you the internet as well as the voice services. In case of the GSM network, visitor location register will provide you the voice services. In case of the next generation network, visitor location register will provide you data and voice both services. Okay, now the second part is the MSC, which is responsible for overall operation and central role in the GSM, which is switching function, additional function for the mobility, management of the network resources, and internetworking function via gateway or the GMSC, because we are connecting our existing network to this MSC, and integration of several database. Okay, now other functions of the MSCs are a specific function for paging and the call forwarding, termination of SS7, mobility specific signaling, location register and forward of location information, fax, SMS, and most of the functions are managed by MSC. Now the OSS, okay, OSS also important part or important subsystem, which is stand for the operational subsystem, and it has three registers: authentication register, equipment identity register, and the OMC, that is operational and maintenance register. Okay, so if you are interested to know the answer about the question, that if you are calling someone and you won't have any subscription plan or you won't have sufficient balance inside your mobile phone, then who will verify? Okay, in every generation, whether it's three generation, four generation, or fifth generation, if you are not you won't have subscribe specific services, or you won't have any kind of balance or data balance or the voice balance, then you won't able to call or you won't able to take the internet services. Then who will verify the thing? Obviously, the register here written, that is the authentication center, okay, is required to verify the billing and existing plans and existing balance of the specific user. जस्ट लाइक अगर आपके मोबाइल फोन में बैलेंस नहीं है, कोई प्लान नहीं है, तो यू आर नॉट एबल टू कॉल एनी वन, बट हु विल गिव यू दिस इंफॉर्मेशन? That is the authentication server, which is part of the MSC. MSC को ये inform करेगा and MSC will inform to you that you want a specific plan or balance to call or to perform this kind of operation or call. Okay, so this is very important center, authentication center, as well as is also track record of various authentication parameters. Okay, so this is also very important thing inside the GSM system. Now, next is also very important thing, that is the equipment identity register. Now, my next question answer is also available to you, that if in case your mobile phone is stolen by someone else, अगर आपका मोबाइल फोन कहीं चोरी हो जाता है तो, ठीक है, nowadays it is a very standardized mechanism to identify these phones with the help of this register, equipment identity register. Because once you will insert the SIM card of a specific service provider, your mobile phone number, that is also known as the IMEI number, International Mobile Equipment Identity. This number is registered inside the Equipment Identity Register. ओके, तो एक बार भी आपने अगर सिम आपकी डाल ली किसी भी सर्विस प्रोवाइडर की, तो वो आपके मोबाइल का जो IMI नंबर है, इट विल बी रजिस्टर्ड इनसाइड दिस रजिस्टर. ओके, तो अगर आपका फोन इन केस इफ इट इज स्टोलन बाय सम थीफ, तो इट कैन आल्सो बी रिकवर ऑन ट्रैक विद द हेल्प ऑफ दिस EIR नंबर. ओके, तो आजकल जो मोबाइल फोन है, जनरली आपने देखा होगा, इस वो चोरी का मोबाइल है तो दे आर आल्सो ट्रैकेबल. ऐसा नहीं है कि अब पकड़ाई में नहीं आते हैं. नाउ गवर्नमेंट हैज आल्सो डिसाइडेड स्पेसिफिक डेडिकेटेड number to identify this kind of stolen mobile phone numbers. Okay, so nowadays it is trackable. Most of the stolen phone are recovered until or unless the thief are changing its IMI number. Okay, then only it won't be trackable. Okay, OMC is required for operation and maintenance center. Okay, operation and maintenance center is required to coordinate all the operation. Okay, now handoff. Now we can talk about the handoff. Handoff is a very critical situation. Okay, because you are moving or you are getting less signal from a specific tower, but you are getting better signal from the next tower. So what will happen? So definitely in this situation, your tower will be changed or you will take the services from the next available tower. But what happen if you are already utilizing any internet service or you are already on the call, आप किसी से ऑलरेडी बात कर रहे हो, ठीक है, फोन पर, एंड यू आर मूविंग फ्रॉम द कार. ओके, कार के अंदर हो, ट्रेन के अंदर हो, ओके, या बस के अंदर हो, यू आर टॉकिंग टू समवन कंटिन्यूअसली while your car, bus or train is moving from one place to the another place. In most of the time you will see that your phone won't disconnect. Okay, but yes, if you are totally away and you are inside the hilly region, then definitely call drop may be there. But in case of the flat region, it won't happen. Okay, what is the reason behind? The reason behind is the handoff condition. Your handphone, there are two kind of handoff. When one handoff managed by the handoff itself, which is known as the MAHO, mobile assisted handoff. In this condition, most of the time your mobile phone also observe the signal strength from nearby towers. Okay, from where it is getting better signal. Okay, you can also test this situation. Okay, for this purpose, I think you can select your setting. You can go to the mobile phone setting. You can try this hand-on experience. Just pick your phone, the phone load, and go to the setting part and go to the network setting part. Okay, network setting part mein there are two things are available. The connectivity or the connection part. in this setting you can see two settings, okay, automatic and the manual. Okay, so go to the manual. If you will select your setting to the manual, then you will see the list of available tower which are nearby. Just करके देखो सारे लोग, then you can realize the situation. Just set your phone to the manual setting. The manual setting पे जैसे जाओगे तो you are able to see the nearby towers, okay, with some kind of different identities. Okay, so you will also get different service providers even. Okay, although you have taken SIM from Geo, but still you are able to see various towers from Airtel or Idea or any other specific service provider. Okay, but you will registered only with inside your service operator. Just like Geo से आपने SIM purchase किया है, तो you will register yourself from the Geo itself. Okay, so अगर if you are interested to see, then you can register manually to a specific SIM card. Now, in this situation, you are able to see what are the different available tower. हो सकता है एक ही सर्विस प्रोवाइडर के भी आपको मल्टीपल टावर दिखें। आपने अगर बीएसएनएल या जियो का सिम लिया है, तो यू कैन ऑल्सो गेट मल्टीपल टावर ऑफ फ्रॉम द रिलायंस जियो एंड बीएसएनएल। Okay, now you are able to switch your tower from टावर फ्रॉम वन कनेक्शन टू द अनदर कनेक्शन। जैसे आप नियर बाय टावर, अपने टावर नंबर वन से कनेक्शन है, तो यू कैन ऑल्सो मेक द कनेक्शन फ्रॉम टावर नंबर टू। Okay, so this is also possible because mobile phone itself can monitor the signal strength. What is the alternative? Alternative is the BSC can also monitor the signal. If you are moving away from particular base station or tower to another tower, then they will compare the signal strength. If the signal strength, whatever you are off, whatever it is offering by the tower is higher than the particular or previous tower, then the handoff will occur. Handoff is the situation when, without breaking the call, without breaking the internet connection even, we are safely hand over to the next tower. Okay, this is the situation is known as the handoff. So handoff can occur frequently when these tower locations are very nearby. So we can expect or we can assume four type of handoff. Okay, so within the BTS, we can say it is controlled by BSC. If you are moving from one BSC to the another, sorry, one BTS to the another BTS. Another case when when we are moving from one BTS to the another BSC, and third case when you are moving from one BSC to the another BSC, and fourth case when you are moving from one MSC to another MSC. Okay, the fourth case is applicable when you are just moving from one state to the another state. Just like अगर आप अभी राजस्थान से दिल्ली मूव करोगे तो fourth handoff will work. Okay, this handoff situation will appear in every generation. Okay, handoff is very critical situation because any tower, whether it's 3G tower, 4G tower, or any next generation tower, it has some coverage area. Okay, it won't work beyond the coverage area. After the coverage area, other tower, other MSC, other BSC will give you the services. So in this way, the handoff or handover will always there in any of the generation. Okay, so GSM is the most important example to understand most of the parameters, because in each and every aspect this handoff will occur. Okay, I think this is the last slide of my this GSM. That is the handoff decision. Now here you can see that BTS old and BTS new. This BTS old is the station or the tower where the mobile phone is already connected. Okay. Now the MS is the mobile station, or just you can assume a car. From car you are moving from BTS old to BTS new. Okay, car is just moving. Now here you can see the signal strength also, and on the y-axis the signal strength of the old tower and the signal strength of the new tower is there. Now in this situation, if you are moving from old to new, then here you can see that uh, if you are moving away from the old tower, then the signal strength will be reduced down. At one point they will be equal. Okay, the new tower strength, signal strength, and the old tower signal strength are equal. It doesn't mean that we have to perform the handover. Okay, we have to manage the same call or same interconnection till the threshold level will reach. Now here we can see that HO margin. Okay, so here we have handoff or handover margin. Afterward we will take the decision about the handoff. Otherwise we always maintain the previous connection. Okay, जो आपको एक लाइन दिख रही है एक्स एक्सिस पर, वर्टिकल लाइन, in this line HO margin, we will take the decision about the handoff. At this point only, we will shift our connection from old tower to the new tower. Okay. So this is the situation is common to every generation. ऐसा नहीं है कि ये situation केवल इसी generation में मिलेगा आपको. But in future generation or in the next generation system, this situation is really handled well, because both the tower are handling at the same time so that the call drop won't occur. Okay, we have very strong mechanism to handle the handoff situation. We will see in the next few lectures in the LTE and in the 4G and beyond 4G system how these hand situations are handled by various operators. But for a time being, I am stopping at this point. And if you have any specific question related to the GSM structure, then it is welcome. You can also comment inside the chat so that I can get the idea what exactly the problem with other GSM systems. Okay, any quick question? Uh, Sir, actually, I'm not able to see the questions from student side. Is there any question?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I want to ask, can you please explain the structure of the VLR in HLR?
Yes. Uh, you are asking the differences between the VLR and
No,
HLR?
no. I'm asking for the structure for VLR and HLR.
Okay. So VLR and HLR
And
are
one
basically.
more thing I want to request you, can you just share your PPT and the video recording of this session
Yes,
in the
yes.
previous two sessions?
I can share. I can share. Okay, so exactly what is VLR and HLR? HLR and the VLR basically they are the registers. Register, it means they are the databases. Okay, so
Okay.
rather than some specific thing, they are basically the databases basically which will provide you the computational facility.
Okay.
Okay, at the runtime, the request will be forwarded from the nearby BSC to the MSC, and they put entry inside the VLR or the HLR. At the time of registration or putting the SIM card itself, you are the part inside the HLR or the home location register. One entry, corresponding entry, which has some attribute, just like what is your name, what is your address identity, okay, what is your SIM card number, okay, how much balance you have at the time of subscription, okay, who verified your identity. So these are the information which are residing inside the home location register, and each and
So there
every
is
time.
one random key also being generated whenever we join any HLR.
Yes.
So what is the use of that?
Basically, to verify the authentication portion, that this identity will work as the session keys. Okay, to establish the session for a time being, because your identity is also associated to the nearby BSC to minimize the searching cost to a specific subscriber. Just like if you are calling to someone and his phone is switched off or he is totally away from particular region. In this situation, this location registers will also provide you information about the geographical region of a specific user. So this session identity will really help you, or this key identity will also help you to identify for various purposes, not only from the geographical identity itself, for performing various specific operations also. Because we have to identify subscriber uniquely, because we can't purchase any SIM directly without registering, and it will be registered to the service provider, because it has bind up or strong encryption technique is also involved at the time of sorting the circuit with the SIM.
So one more question I want to ask.
Yes, sir.
We purchased the SIM from Jio,
Okay.
and whenever somebody else who has not saved my number will only get the location as Karnataka or some Haryana. Why this
Okay.
happens? But I had purchased the SIM from Rajasthan only.
Okay, actually, nowadays TRAI has some guideline about the subscription of first time subscription. In this situation, if you purchase your SIM card with your home state, then you won't able to register it into the another state. Okay, that is the
No, sir. I am living in Rajasthan, and I
okay,
have purchased my SIM from the Jio.
okay,
Okay, and if I call you, you will see my location as Karnataka or some Haryana. It will not
okay.
give my location as Rajasthan. Even though I'm sitting in the Rajasthan in the hometown in the home same place where I had purchased the SIM from.
Okay. It means you are moving, or you are trying to move your mobile phone from your state to Karnataka, or you are
No, I'm sitting in the Rajasthan, Jaipur only.
okay,
This happens only in the Geo. It doesn't happen on other connection types, operators.
okay,
It only happens in the Geo that you purchase your SIM from any state
okay,
and you call to other person who has not stored your number will
hmm.
get your number and your location is Karnataka or some Mumbai or some Haryana.
Yes, 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 yes.
It will
Yeah,
not
I
give
got your question.
the
It means
state or the home location where you had activated your SIM from.
yes, yes, I got your question now. You are calling, you are asking this question that as a subscriber of Rajasthan.
Yeah,
Now you are calling to a person who is residing inside Bangalore. Okay. Now Bangalore person is getting the information that some Rajasthan person subscriber is calling to you.
no, sir, it is opposite. See, for example, I am in Jaipur
Okay.
and I had purchased a SIM from the Geo center from Jaipur only.
Okay.
And from that number, I call you.
Okay.
You will receive my number, and in below the location is being written as Karnataka or some Haryana or some Gujarat, some other location that I am calling from that location.
Okay.
Even though
So
I am calling from the Jaipur location only. It only
actually,
happens for the first time. In a
whatever
second
the
time, you
number
will
is,
get the correct location.
okay, whatever the number I am getting, if you are calling to me,
Yeah,
then your number will be appear, and your name won't appear, and your location is appear, which
yeah,
is not Rajasthan, which is actually somehow changed.
yeah.
Yes. So basically, each and every mobile operator is maintaining the list of starting numbers. Just like अगर आपका series जो है ना, it
Okay.
is start from 89828. Okay. So this
Yeah.
specific series is assigned to, and the number phone is similar as the Karnataka. That's why it
Okay.
appears. Otherwise, it won't appear. So it totally depends upon the mobile phone operator, mobile phone manufacturer, not to the subscriber. Subscriber is not giving you information that your phone is coming from the Karnataka. Who is giving this
Okay.
information? Your mobile phone itself.
Okay. Will it be from the receiver end or for the sender end?
At the receiving end, if I am receiving the phone, then I am getting this
Okay.
information. Then my mobile manufacturer, just like if I am user of Apple, then Apple is giving me this information that you are calling from Karnataka.
Okay, sir.
Not service provider. Service provider has exact information about the location, but
It
they
means the
want,
location that is being shown at the first time of the call is not from the service
but
provider,
the
it is from
location
the
information,
phone only.
location information actually won't share by service provider due to the guideline of TRAI. They
Yeah.
want show your exact location. आपको कोई भी फोन करेगा तो उसकी लोकेशन आपको नहीं पता लगेगी। ये ट्राई की गाइडलाइन के अगेंस्ट है, अगेंस्ट टू द प्राइवेसी एक्ट ऑफ इंडिया।
Okay.
Okay, so this information is available to you due to your smartphone mobile.
Okay.
अगर नहीं तो आप कोई दूसरा फोन यूज करके देखना, दिस इंफॉर्मेशन वॉन्ट अवेलेबल ऑन योर स्क्रीन।
एक्चुअली मैं अभी ये वाला जो सब्जेक्ट है पढ़ा रहा था स्टूडेंट्स को।
अच्छा।
तो ये ऐसा ही कुछ मेरे पास में एक क्वेश्चन आया, मैंने उसको ढूंढा, तो मुझे आज ये याद आया। मैंने कहा अच्छा ऐसा मैंने कुछ ढूंढा था।
नहीं,
इसलिए मैंने कहा शायद हो सकता है मैंने गलत ढूंढा हो, तो मैंने कहा सर से वेरीफाई कर लेता हूँ।
वेरी नाइस क्वेश्चन। वो आप अगर कोई स्मार्टफोन यूजर हैं तो दिस इंफॉर्मेशन विल गिवन बाय योर स्मार्टफोन। नहीं तो आप सिंपल सा फोन लेके देखना, उसमें आपको कर्नाटका हरियाणा कुछ नहीं मिलेगा।
नहीं, उसमें तो कुछ नहीं मिलता। सिर्फ ये एक्चुअली मैंने एमआई के और सैमसंग के इन फोन्स पे टेस्ट किया था, तो उसमें है मिलता है ये।
डेफिनेटली सर नहीं मिलेगा। ये केवल इंफॉर्मेशन आपको आपका मोबाइल फोन देता है, ना कि आपका ऑपरेटर। और वो आप मोबाइल फोन भी क्यों देता है सर पता है? क्योंकि वो आपकी जो नंबर की सीरीज है वो कहीं सेम है। जैसे कई बार आपका फोन दिखाता है कि आपका फोन जो है वो लैंडलाइन नंबर है किसी स्टेट का।
हाँ।
तो वो आपके मोबाइल फोन का जो स्टोरेज है, जो स्टार्टिंग की सीरीज है 5 नंबर 4 नंबर की, उस कारण से आपको इन्फॉर्मेशन आती है।
ओके।
नहीं तो सर्विस प्रोवाइडर कभी भी आपकी जियोग्राफिकल लोकेशन शेयर नहीं कर सकता।
हाँ, सर्विस प्रोवाइडर तो नहीं करता वो, जब तक अपन मतलब कोई क्रिमिनल ऑफेंस या ऐसा कुछ नहीं हो तब।
नहीं सर, इवन आप क्रिमिनल ऑफेंस भी कर लो तब भी, जब तक
वो सिर्फ
सर्विस
सीआईडी
प्रोवाइडर
वालों को और इनको मिलता है सर वो।
जब तक सर्विस प्रोवाइडर को कोई लॉ एंड एनफोर्समेंट एजेंसी स्पेसिफिकली अप्रोच नहीं करती कि आई वांट टू ट्रैक द पर्टिकुलर मोबाइल फोन, तब तक वो इवन ट्रैक भी नहीं कर सकती। इट इज अगेंस्ट द प्राइवेसी लॉ।
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर। सर आप पीपीटी और वीडियो कैसे शेयर करेंगे?
I will forward, or actually my site is available. I will upload in the on the same, and you can
कैन
also
यू जस्ट pardon the site?
okay. My actually website is lokeshchauhan.com, LOKESHCHOUHAN.com,
chauhan.com.
where you will get the information about the mobile computing. I have shared lots of the lectures.
ओके सर, इसके पहले वाले वीडियोस भी वहां मिल जाएंगे आपके?
Yes. यहाँ तो मैं actually I am taking only 1 and 2 session, and I
नहीं, आपके एक्चुअली में ये जो सुबह वाले सेशन होते हैं, ये सुबह मॉर्निंग वाला 11:30 से 12:30 वाला, यही सेशन मेरे को अच्छा लगा, इसीलिए मैं 3 दिन से आज देख रहा हूँ आपका ये सेशन।
अच्छा।
तो इसलिए मेरे को आज लगा, मैंने कहा मैं सर से पूछ लेता हूँ ये चीज।
नहीं सर, you are always welcome. Even you can also interact me afterward or after this session even. Okay, after this workshop you can also interact with me anytime.
ओके सर, थैंक यू।
Okay, is there any other question from any other participant?
Thank you so much, sir. This was a very good session, very nice session.